What's up, everybody? I'm Dex, and today it's late AF. And today I decided to zoom in for some reason, but we're gonna read Reddit stories, just like all my favorite YouTubers. That was a weird voice crack. And malicious compliance. Now let's get into the story. I probably should have covered it up so you don't get any spoilers until I read it, but oh well. Here we go. So, this story is AIDS Batman. That's what I'm calling him for now. Nah, I'm just joking. Told us not to turn off the power unless he explicitly said to turn off the power. So we didn't. Childhood story time from 30 plus years ago. We lived in this old farmhouse for a couple of years. Mother wanted a better light source in the kitchen, so her boyfriend at the time volunteered to install a new light over the sink. Claimed he knew what he was doing. He told us children that we could turn off the power at the fuse box when he was ready to start. He was very explicit in his instructions. Don't touch the fuse box unless I tell you to turn off the power, understand? Only flip the breaker when I say turn off the power. We repeated our instructions back to him and stated we understood. Flip the breaker when you say turn off the power. Got it. So he gets ready to start and calls out, turn off the lights. Well, fuse box right next to the house, light switch for the living room, and he'd been quite explicit about when to turn off the power. We kind of shrugged at each other and reached the light switch and turned off the lights. Lights are off, was our reply. Nice flash of sparks and some cursing a few seconds. Preceded him storming in, trying to get all mad about getting shocked. Mother just heated and pointed out that he had told us to not to touch the breaker unless he said turn off the power, and asked him what he told us to do. He admitted to saying lights instead of power. Spent a few hours trying to wire the new light before giving up. Mom got an elder from the... I can't speak sometimes. Why am I trying to read this? Elder from church to come out and look at it. He fixed it in about 10 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's definitely the embodiment of complying maliciously and someone getting shocked for it. Anyway, let's zoom back out. Truly shocking. Absolute best comment right here. Anyway, spark of inspiration. Why the fuck did I say information? Even if I have an adult flipping a breaker for me, I still check that the power is actually off at the receptacle myself. This is so stupid. Yeah, no, that sounds pretty bad. Depending on the power of the electric shock, it just depends. Anyway, I'm gonna go see about finding more posts, because this has to be more than a YouTube short. Well, I mean, it could be a YouTube short. I can do anything I want with this. I'm getting ideas. Alright, here's one. This one, by Unfair Leadership 6. Well, of course there's a 6-7. Anyway, following parental figure instructions. About 20 years ago, my siblings and myself lived mainly on a very small hobby farm with one parent and a stepfather. Absolute in quotes. Living in the US. They were married when I started middle school and divorced when I was in my senior year of high school. He had a ton of issues, including anger management, and I was the only one willing to talk back to him. Neat. This person's definitely slightly brave. To a guy who explodes like a nuclear bomb. We also had multiple people, mostly other children, coming over to get lessons given by myself, with the horses in exchange for their help. This was a huge help to me since my siblings basically did nothing with all the animals. Chickens, turkeys, pigs, horses, cats. That's a lot of animals, even though they were supposed to. So to keep them alive, I took care of them over 80% of the time. Ooh. Well, this step... Oh! I don't think I can say that. Well, this... I forgot to check for bad words. Oh well, anyway. This step butts rule. Oh wait, this step farters rule. There we go. Pile. Okay, I can't read. Let me try that again. Well, this step farters rule was manure was to be dumped between two poles, and he was supposed to move the pole so the older piles would age into fertilizer to be removed from the small property. Of course, he would get aggressively mad at me when new manure would get tossed and older manure ready to get transported out, and he would attempt to force me to have everyone follow his instructions. Well, the instructions continued to be dumped waste between two poles. So I kept that up until everything ended up blending together because he would not keep up with moving the poles. He blew up at me, but I just reiterated his instructions back, which led to more anger. But being able to repeat his instructions back that led to the mess he was mad about felt pretty dang good. Ooh, yeah. Good one. I would add more applause, but I'm not an editor. And well done. Wow. There's nothing here. Yeah, I gotta admit. Pretty good. Now, depending on the way he blew up, I might be able to relate depending on things. Anyway. You know, actually, I should check out the Insane Parents subreddit. I might find those slightly relatable. Who knows? Anyway, I'll go off to find the next one. Oh, this was all made 2 hours ago. Yeah, it's gonna get some traction eventually. Anyway, and I had to get this one in a completely different ratio, just so y'all wouldn't see the comment, because, like, you know, it's a pretty good comment. Plus, this is a good story. My friend stayed overnight. Parents told us don't wake them up for anything. Ah, yes, they need their beauty sleep, even if, I don't know. This story commences. When I was about 7 years old, my best friend came to stay the night. My best friend came to stay overnight on the weekend as usual. Right before bed, my parents told us to not wake them up for anything. You got it, Mom and Dad. So our festivities included the ultimate 90s kiddo experience. Video games and snacks until our eyes couldn't be held up anymore. My friend's snack choice happened to be an entire box of Cheez-Its, which apparently he was not built for, unbeknownst to the both of us. That was until he gurgled up saying, "I think I'm gonna be sick." And sick he was. Over half of the futon we always dragged out for him was covered in an orangey clear evidence of a great night overindulging on that crispy, salty square. Gotta admit, I love Cheez-Its. If I threw up by eating too many of them, that would worth it. He curled up in the one and only spot that was left for the last time that the futon could provide. Rest in peace, futon. My parents only had this to say: "Why did you wake us up? We could have cleaned it and saved the futon." Never saw my friend eat Cheez-Its again. Man, why isn't there anything more on the second to last sentence? Like, oh, okay, what did you say in response? There's supposed to be something fun here. Anyway, though this is meant to be lighthearted, but I feel like lots of adults don't realize how seriously kids take it. When adults essentially say, "If you need me, I won't be there for you." Oh, oh my, another one! Yeah, my mom used to tell us she wasn't taking us to the ER if we got hurt, and then double down said she was serious. Well, one day, one of my siblings fell off the trampoline and broke his arm. Oh, okay. That's okay. This post just went from wholesome to the comment dragging it down a hill. We weren't doing anything wrong. We were allowed to play on it. Their mom knew they were out there. He just landed wrong. Anyways, Mom already said she wasn't taking in one of the ear, so I dragged him to the neighbor's house. Neighbor was a solid lady. Oh, nice. Didn't think twice and drove us to the ER. My mom was furious when officers showed up at the house to inform her we were at the ER and wanted to know what happened and why she hadn't taken us herself. What did she expect? Well, I threatened to abuse you and you took that seriously. How dare? How dare? That was basically her reaction. Ooh, wow, just gossip. Definitely gossip. So did everyone in the ER, and the nurses went home, told all their friends and neighbors. Police talked about it. Teachers who heard about it. Mom getting stank eye for a year. Yeah, no, that's pretty accurate. Ooh, one more reply that's probably gonna be a deleted good. Yeah, no, sounds about right. Alrighty. Anyway, be right back again. Gotta go find more posts to read. I think I'm gonna stop doing this in between thing. I'm just gonna stop after my explanation. Yeah, that sounds like what everyone else does, so I'll do it too. Alright, this is a long one by Danku 2027. That's gonna be quite the year in the future, huh? It's like a year. And then you add a few extra digits. You don't want me to help them when they come over? Fine, I won't help them when they come over. This is gonna be a really long one, bro. This story starts way before 2023, but the crux of the situation started in 2023. For context, not from the US, but instead a Caribbean country. Okay, that's cool. Look something. Most of y'all already guessed it. So I believe it was 2015 when someone who my family knew moved in next door to us. At that time, it was just a single mom with 2 kids. Now, because of the economy where I lived, even back then, times were harder for everyone, my family included. So they would always ask for assistance, such as salt, sugar, etc., etc. Even times they would come over to stay of the day or whatnot. Even times they would come over to stay of the day or whatnot. Is that a phrase, or was that just grammar? Anyway, never really an issue for me at that time. The issue was when the single mom, well, technically she didn't just live with her man. Whoops, accidentally right-clicked. I bonked my cursor into my mouse into the cursor. Fuck. It's too late. It's too late at night. I can't speak. I bonked my mouse into my controller. There we go. The issue was when the single mom, well, technically she didn't just live with her man, had another kid with her man. Now it was 3 mouths for her to feed. When that happened, again, they came over a lot more constantly. Which never minded, since they wasn't all over all the time and would go home in the evenings, but it was rising. Fast forward after the pandemic hits and it was 2021, they were over a lot. They would still ask for commodities, and I would always be the one to get it for them. They wanted salt, an onion, a tomato, etc., etc. I would always be the one to help them. Heck, most times, they don't even go to my egg donor and instead just come straight to me if they wanted something. The main issue I was having, they were eating a lot of our already diminishing food. And I was saying to my egg donor, would never call that piece of trash mom, that we can't keep doing it for the long run because we already don't have that much. She told me just shut up. Because we, in quotes, are helping them. For an additional context, I was the only doing 80 to 90% of the cooking. Well, that typo woke me up, thank goodness. This sentiment was also shared with all of my older sisters. They're also garbage as well. Now you might be wondering, what does that have to do with malicious compliance? Continue reading, we're getting there. Fast forward to 2023, the year it happened. My egg donor and her oldest cult member, i.e., her oldest daughter, was talking in a room in that house. Anyway. I don't remember why, but I was outside. The lady sent over her youngest daughter to ask for something. So because I was outside, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just see what she wants and go get it for her. So I said, hey, what do you want? And she replied she was just gonna ask my egg donor for it. I'm like, I can just get it for you. She was like, no. So I was like, just tell me what you want, and I'm gonna go get it for you. Then I heard her mom calling for her. I was thinking I was gonna go get it for her. A few days later, my egg donor called me and asked why I'd shouted at the late at the lady youngest daughter. Is that late? Is that supposed to be ladies? I was like, I didn't. I only asked her what she wanted. She and I got into a back and forth where she was essentially saying I was wrong and I should have allowed her to come directly to her, and me saying I usually just assist them without you or anyone else being disturbed. Then she said these words. Ooh, the magic words. It doesn't matter. When them come over and ask for anything, just don't help them and make them come to me. Cue malicious compliance. Mind you, at this point, I'd already detested my egg donor and her daughter, so I was happy to oblige her and her command. Okay, I don't know what the tested means. It's probably just because I'm stupid. Dislike and Tesla. Kind of like disdain. What they didn't realize was the many times I had to help them when they asked for things, and cooked for my neighbor's daughter as well. Yes, I was that dumb. Roast me for it. I don't care. The next time they came over to ask for something and they came to me, I just directed them to my egg donor or her daughters. Now, realize this. I was doing this since I was 17 until I was 23, and apart from my small suggestions, I never complained about it once. They could not even manage a few months without them complaining. They were like, every time we want something, them come here and ask. If they want something to eat, we have to cook it for them, etc., etc. And I was just basking in it. I even remember one specific situation where one of my neighbor's daughter came inside my house and asked me for something. And I said to her, go outside and ask my egg donor. She came back in and said, my egg donor said I should do it. I looked this young girl in her face and said, tell her that I said, if she want you if get thing. Is that supposed to be an if? What is fi? She should come in and give it to you herself. Man, Magdon was mad about that, LMAO. And their anger about the situation just grew and grew, mostly because Magdon would be sleeping and they came over asking for something. I would direct the kids and say to them, wake them up and ask them what you want. Needless to say, they were very upset, and they even asked me to go back out and help, and I said no. Additional context, remember when I said I would bring up concerns like we already have diminishing food and given them? I said I was evil for not helping them out and talking about our diminishing food and how often they were visiting and sleeping over, etc., etc. Fast forward 2024. Ooh, we're going very far places. This situation sealed the deal. After years of build-up of their foolishness and abuse, that's quite a word. And I had a big fallout with them. McDonough and their daughters was complaining about how the kids was always coming over, always needing something, about how they always giving them and having to cook for them and everything. All the concerns I raised up in the past, now they saw why I had concerns about them. And when I said they were complaining so bad, I was like to myself, do y'all really love those kids as much as you claim? Then my moment came. In the height of them complaining, just burst out laughing and said, not directly to them, but talking loud enough for them to hear, I remember when I said the same thing and I was evil. Man, look at how times have changed. And Mayo never saw them get mad about me being right. They only said to themselves, who's talking to him about anything? The funny thing, never heard them complaining about it ever again. Guess my donor shouldn't have given me that command a lot. Now let's see the comments. Remember TLDR? This I don't know what that means. I highlighted too much because I double clicked too fast. Forceful and bitter verbal attack against someone or something. Makes sense, yeah. Whoops, I clicked over here and it clicked this. OP helped neighbors out with food a lot. OP's family thought OP was being petty, complaining how much they cook. OP stops helping and then complains. You forgot to use the term egg donor in a difficult to understand manner. It's a good one. How do I get out of here? How many? Okay, there we go. Every time them want something, them come over here and ask. It was fun to read the rest of the post in a Jamaican accent. Oh, I don't know that accent, so I unfortunately can't go back and reread that. Sounds less malicious compliance, more bitter and angry. Bitter and angry compliance. Ooh, that's a new one. That was a waste of perfectly good bites. Bites. They really don't. It's a winky. Do you still live? Okay, I'm done. If y'all want to read these comments, sure, go ahead. Yeah, I'm done here. Alright. This one ain't that bad. I might need to, like, disable my upper GX keyboard noises, because you hear stuff like every time I press a button, which includes the equal button, which is you're probably hearing a every single time I press the enter key to resume the recording. Anyway, still malicious compliance from user left my pen again. My landlord said I needed to submit all maintenance requests in writing, so I did. Every single one. Some context. I rented an apartment for 2 years from a private landlord, not a property management company, just a guy who owned the unit. For the first year, he was responsive enough. Then something shifted, and suddenly every time I called or texted about something that needed fixing, he would either not respond or say he'd get to it and then not get to it. A slow drain that took 3 weeks, a heating issue that took 5, broken latch on the front gate that I reported 4 times verbally over 2 months that just never got fixed. After the gate latch situation, I got a little frustrated and sent him a longer text laying out the timeline of that specific issue. He did not like this. He called me and told me going forward I needed to submit all maintenance requests in writing, formally, not just text, so he could track them properly. I think he expected this to slow me down or make me less likely to report things. He did not think it through. I started sending formal written maintenance requests for absolutely everything. Formatted like a business letter. Date at top, description of issue, date I first noticed it, any previous verbal reports. Requested resolution time frame, my signature at the bottom. I emailed them and also printed and slid a copy under his office door, which was in the same building. A slow drain became a 2-page document with photo attachment. A flickering bathroom light got the full treatment. The intercom stopped working. I sent a request referencing the building's habitability standards I had looked up specifically for the occasion. Within 6 weeks, he had a paper trail of 11 documented maintenance issues, all formally submitted, with dates and descriptions. When you try to keep my security deposit for excessive wear at the end of my lease, I had 11 letters ready to go. Got a full deposit. I got the full deposit back within 4 days, though. Nice. In the original, everything is sent by registered email. What happened? Too expensive now? What can you expect from a 6-day-old account? Thank you. This helps me decide which arrowhead to click. Lazy and blatant repost. Oh. Hi, 6-day-old account. In writing, please. Bull. Yeah, okay, I should have read the comments before coming here, which, makes sense, especially considering the fact there's one. And I just went from here to sending letters excessive wear. Don't expect logic from a plagiarism comment deleted by user. You probably posted and then deleted it. That's what you do, right? What's your goal with karma farming, anyways? Oh yeah, AI things. Okay, let's see what's next, shall we? Alright, this one's a malicious compliance that I didn't read through at all. All I really see so far is, if you don't like the way I eat, I simply won't. Quite a title, obsessed _ FF7 lover. I don't know what FF7 is. Someone inform me. Well, Final Fantasy? Nah, I'm joking. Also, I don't know what M means. Was it malicious instead of compliance? Nah, I'm joking. And hey, we have an insane parent here, so if you like that subreddit, tell me to do that one next. I probably will anyway. But, ooh, I read like a little bit in my head on accident. My parents are very weird people. A lot of very small, random things set them off. And they will seethe about them for hours, call me names, threaten to take things away from me, threaten to kick me out, etc. They also don't believe in most mental health issues / diagnoses. Either I get a therapist and magically it's better, or it's a waste of money. Meds or anything else? Out of the question. Jeez, I get therapy, but I don't believe in my mental health either. I don't know what the hell's going on in there. I do believe in mental health, just like mine is crazy. I don't know what the hell's in this thing. And speaking of, very random things set my stepdad off sometimes. I pray he doesn't watch this video. Anyway. One of their biggest pet peeves is how I eat. Okay, my stepdad's not this insane, what the hell? I call myself a grazer. Example, I like to have small, light meals throughout the day. Heavy meals, or meals rich in dairy, acidity, or fats, make me feel very nauseous, as well as eating too fast. I'm also never really hungry or ravenous. Sometimes I just feel a bit dizzy, so I eat to feel better. Okay, that's a solid eating strategy. Just, I'm slightly hungry. I'm going to eat like a chicken nugget or something. Wow, I'm much better. This leads to me, when going out for dinner or taking proportions of homemade meals, to either take home leftovers or packing. I can't read. Why am I doing this at 12:39? Oh, how long is this video? Okay. Alright, lock in. This leads to me, when going out for dinner or taking portions of homemade meals, to either take home leftovers or packing up my portions for the next day. I like to clear the air. I don't waste my food. It always gets eaten just on my terms and within a reasonable time of day or so. Oh, nice. My friends and relatives do not see an issue with this. I'm pretty sure most of the world won't either, bud. My mother and stepfather, my stepfather especially, do. Holy cow, a crazy stepfather thing. Yeah! This is literally my family. No, I'm just joking. 2 weeks ago, he screamed at me because I didn't finish my food and took it home for next day's lunch, which I did eat at work. He was raging about how it wasn't how you were supposed to eat food. That even though I always ate my leftovers, I was wasting his money because the food wasn't fresh when I ate it, and he hates having to buy me food and told me to stop asking for food when we go out. He won't pay for it anymore. He also called me several flavorful names, while my spineless mom just sat there. My poor baby brother found me that night and apologized on their behalf, saying he didn't know why they're like this, so rude to you. Yo, let me remember this real quick. I think my stepfather called me like every swear in the book once. Random car drive, he was like, sorry to rudely interrupt the middle of the story, but I kind of do that. I'm sorry. My train of thought go wee. I'll just save this for the end. I don't think I'm gonna be able to remember it unless I read more. Game on, then. Since that night, whenever my family go out to eat, I don't get a single thing. If I bring my wallet, I make it a point to order by myself and order a small meal. At home, I take very little portions. No more leftovers. First, my dad refused to say anything, but now him and my mom are both throwing around anorexia and EDs, eating disorders. That's what those are. I'm 5'4", 130 pounds with a BF of 24%. Is that body fat percent? Yeah, body fat percent. Perfectly healthy, even by my primary doctor's standards. They're furious now, saying I'm making them look abusive when we go out, that I'm being an immature bee. Or as I like to say, Bichachio Chonga. I don't know where the hell that came from. I just point out that I'm just doing what they ask. Which usually gets them to leave it alone. Hey, you're complying and that's all they care about, I guess? I have my own car, and as mentioned before, my own job that thankfully pays well. I'm not starving by any means. Ah, yes, you just eat small stomach. Just making a point to take none of the food they offer now, outside or homemade. Nice! Anyway, let me think about my story real quick. So, like, basically, I had fun during an outing with, like, I think it was my stepdad's, my stepdad's father and a couple of his brothers, meaning my step uncles and step grandpa or something. I think that's how that works. And, like, basically, all that really happened out there was just, we had a fun conversation, but apparently I spoke too much for my stepdad, and then he called me every curse in the book and blamed my YouTube feed for what I do. The funny thing is, I was watching a stupid thing, and then he just scrolled through a whole bunch of these Reddit story videos or just other like Reddit things. I don't think he even looked at anything on the phone. He was just, ooh, look, he's on YouTube. Quick, swipe, swipe, swipe. So, yeah. That sure is funny. Oh, I just noticed this rule compliance must be intentional. Huh, neat. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know why I just happened to look at that, but hey, that's all there was to the story, so, like, yeah. Like, it was arguing to my mom about me while I was listening to stuff through my, like, AirPods or something. Just kind of, like, hoping. Just, like, I think mom just hoped that I wasn't hearing any of it because AirPods. But I did. AirPods do not cancel out loud, slightly high-pitched when annoyed voices. Yeah, Anyway, now that my story's out of the way, scroll. They're upset because they're trying to control you and you aren't playing their game. Play my game! They're mad because you're making it look like abuse. If it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. If it looks like a duck. Okay, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. I think that's what that's supposed to say anyway. There's literally nothing wrong with how you eat. Tons of people eat that way and are perfectly healthy. Many doctors and nutritional experts agree that it is arguably more healthy to graze than to eat 3 square. 3 squares, my favorite meal. If you press what is wrong with it, you will get shallow non-answers before shifting the goalpost, all while escalating. Oh my, the ultimate wombo combo of things. Take this opportunity to consider moving out, possibly go low contact. Jumping on the top comment, hoping OP sees it. No contact, as mentioned, a very low contact with gray rocking. Behavioral technique used to manage toxic, narcissistic or emotionally manipulative individuals by becoming intentionally uninterested and unresponsive. Ah, yes, just become emotionless. Will be a lifesaver in so many situations, and plan your escape. They will be at you forever unless you leave. They continue and threaten your independence because they lost control. Please go to Raised by Narcissists. Ooh, you will get so much from there. That sounds like a place I'd go if, like, there were good stories there, but I don't know what's there. Anyway, next comment, because, oh yeah. 2 things. Oh, this person's proud of them for taking back power where they can. Being in a situation like this sounds awful, and finding ways to relieve some of that pressure is good. 2, I'm worried for your safety. This is a textbook abusive situation. Even if they've never put hands on you, the way they act and speak both to you and around you is abusive. If you legally can, get out. If you can't, reach out for help from trusted people around you. Edit. I just wanted to add that you deserve better and deserve to feel safe and loved and seen. Aw, positive. Ooh, another comment. I'm not looking at that one just yet. I grew up with abusive parents. Once I started doing real research on the topic, I was absolutely shook by the myriad of ways it could manifest and how many applied directly to my situation. So many things that seemed off but were perceived to be normal and innocuous simply because I was used to it. Food control was one of the most stressful parts of my childhood, and I didn't even realize how abnormal it was until I got on the other side and gained perspective. Jeez. I thought that I could never eat around my parents, and my therapist told me that the fight or flight and high stress I experienced around them affected my appetite. There isn't anything wrong with how you're eating, but I wouldn't be able to eat a thing around them. I used to have to wait until everyone was asleep and eat in bed. Those high cortisol levels you're getting around them aren't healthy for you, OP. If you can, move the hell out of XX. Okay. Alright. So currently, my current opinion on all of this is just eat your food however you need to. That's your stomach, my guy. Oh, and if you maliciously comply with people, that's even better. We love that. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough stories for now because, I think I'll be better at reading next time because I'll have practice. This was like a test run for me. And anyway, if this does like slightly good, I'm gonna go for the insane parents one next. Maybe I'll leave it like a lo-fi in the background. Ooh. That could be pretty good. Instead of having all this open, I'll just have an additional tab that's just some like Minecraft music or some that'd be pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, if you like this new Reddit content, please like and or subscribe. And hey, thanks for stopping by.